Hi, this is Alex, and if you love music, well, you've come to the right place because we're all about albums. Well, it's that time of the year. The holiday season is upon us, and that usually means getting together with family members. At our family get-togethers, typically we usually have a family game, either a board game or more likely a question and answer type game, and that usually leads to a lot of funny, memorable moments. So in that vein, I'd like to do my second unknown album quiz. Hopefully this will be some fun for you for the holidays. Just like last time, I will show 10 unknown album covers, and at the end of the video, I will reveal the 10 answers and you can see how you did. Just like family board games, there are no prizes, just the feeling of pride. Well, here are some ground rules. First of all, I will be showing you only the front of album covers. After all, if I show you the back of an album cover, it might be a bit too difficult. Second, I will only show classic albums, albums that everyone probably has seen, not obscure albums, not albums that have sold, 500 copies. We're not going to do anything like that. Finally, no cheating, because really, what's the fun in that? And because it's the holiday season and I'm feeling pretty good, I'm going to give you a hint. Neither of those two albums will be the answer on the unknown album quiz today. So what will happen is I'm going to show you 10 unknown album covers. I'm going to pause for you to look at each one for a while and then move on to the next unknown album. After I've run through all of them, I will give you a second chance to see all the album covers again, but this time I will show the album covers a little more quickly. So let's get going. Our first unknown album cover. Okay, great. Here we go, our second unknown album cover. Good. All right, number 3. All right, hope you guys out there are doing pretty good, feeling good. Here we go. Number 4. Okay, great. Let's move on to number 5. All right, well, you're halfway through. So let's see the second half, starting with number 6. Okay, hope you're feeling still pretty good. I know I am. I know you guys are doing well. Here we go. Unknown album cover number 7. Okay, let's move on. Number 8. Great. Okay, the penultimate, number 9. Number 9. Okay, and our final unknown album cover, number 10. Here we go. Okay, great. So we're going to go through the album covers one more time. So here we go, back starting with number 1. Okay, number 2. All right, number 3. Album cover number 4. Album cover 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. And last but not least, our last album cover. Okay, great. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to reveal the answers one at a time, and we'll see how you did. Well, the first unknown album cover is Firefall. This actually did pretty well. It was their debut album, and it featured the lead singer Rick Roberts. And if you don't know who he is, you should. He is a member of the Flying Burrito Brothers and is featured on their self-titled album. Okay, unknown album cover number 2. Yes, it's The Doors, their famous Morrison Hotel album. And I was feeling good. It's the holiday season. I want everyone to get on the board and at least get one on this quiz. So that was the gimme. And for those of you out there who missed it, it's not going to get any easier, I'm sorry to say. Our third unknown album, there was some lettering there, makes up the word head. So for those of you out there who know the 70s rock music, you're going to pick that up, and it's Machine Head, which is the album by Deep Purple. And this album featured their huge hit, Smoke on the Water. Now, the reason I included this album takes me back to a summer I spent in camp when this song was on the radio all the time. The next album I thought you probably should get, it's by Dire Straits. It's the album that features a lightning bolt on the cover, and it's Love Over Gold. Now, for those of you who don't know this album, it's really a great album. You should pick it up. And for those of you who collect albums, you should know that this is a real audiophile title. It sounds fantastic on a good stereo system. The fifth unknown album, it's I thought a little hard. It's a little tussle of hair and someone with a receding hairline. And it's none other than Phil Collins' album, No Jacket Required. No Jacket Required is the third studio album for Phil Collins. It is a multi-platinum album. It was #1 both in the UK and the US. This album alone sold 12 million copies in the United States, about 2 million in the UK, and approximately 25 million copies worldwide. A very big album for Phil Collins. The next album cover is a motorcycle guys riding, and this is Cheap Trick and their album In Color. I love this album. If you flip it open, you'll see the nerdy, guys in the band, and then the two cool dudes on the front cover. So I really like this album cover. And one thing about Cheap Trick I'll never forget, I did see Cheap Trick on their tour for this album, and definitely the loudest rock band I have ever heard. If other bands were louder, I don't know. I know Blue Oyster Cult had a reputation of being super loud, but this was unbearable. People told me about it. I actually had wax in my ears for the concert, and my friend didn't want any wax in his ears, and it turned out that my ears only rang for 1 to 2 days. He couldn't hear almost anything for a complete week. My God. Well, that's my main memory of Cheap Trick. The next unknown album is by Blood, Sweat and Tear. It's their debut album entitled The Child is Father to the Man. This first studio album featured Al Kooper as one of the original founding members of the band. After the release of the first album, the band had some strife, as many bands end up having, and Al Kooper left the band. The band was in search of a lead vocalist, and that ushered in the era of David Clayton Thomas. And he was featured as a lead vocalist in all subsequent Blood, Sweat and Tear albums. Moving on to the number 8 album cover, and that should be, I think, pretty easy, but sometimes when the image is rather small, part of the cover, it could be hard. This is the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour. There's not much I need to say about this album, but hopefully you guys out there in the UK or Beatle fans all got this one. Next is our penultimate unknown album cover, and that is by the Allman Brothers. It is the famous album Eat a Peach. And this album title was given by a quote given by Duane Allman during an interview. And finally, the last album is by the band Pure Prairie League, and it is their album Bustin' Out. And this is a very underrated band. They are very talented. You should check them out if you haven't heard them, although most of you have heard them because they had one mega hit, and that song does appear on this album, Bustin' Out, entitled Amy. Okay, so now that you graded your own test papers, let's see how you did. Well, if you only got 0 or 1 correct, man, are you really into music? Or do you only stream music? I don't know. If you only got 2 or 3 right, well, you may be a rookie and you just started out collecting music. That's okay. Your knowledge base will grow. Keep going. For those of you who got 4 to 6 correct, which I'm assuming is probably the bulk of the people out there, not bad. You're only going to get better. Keep it up. For those of you with 7 or 8 correct, very, very impressive. You guys really know your stuff. You should be proud. If you got 9 correct, well, you're definitely godlike. Good job. And if you got a perfect 10 on this quiz, wow, you may own your own record store. But as The Who said in a quote, meet the new boss. Good job. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, a bonus quiz that we did for the holidays. Let me know how you did as well as what you thought of the quiz, and give me any feedback as to any improvements that I could do in the future. As always, this is Alex with All About Albums. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. And remember, keep them spinning.